Welcome to the Grand Meridian in Appleton for the FCA banquet tonight, and I'm standing along Hall of Fame Wisconsin basketball coach and legend, Coach Dick Bennett. Coach, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Happy to be with you, yes.
Absolutely. We're very pleased that we could bring this to SportsFaith.com. My name is Craig Bohn, of course. My good friend Matt Kowalczyk behind the camera tonight. But, Coach, talk a little bit about FCA, your involvement with the Fine Ministry, and what your message might be a little bit tonight as you're the keynote speaker.
Well, FCA is just a grand association, which is so outstanding for young people. I think it had an incredible impact on my son through a man whom I hope will be here tonight, Brian Shaw, who was a basketball coach at Manitowoc and took Tony to an FCA camp. And it really lit a fire that has continued to burn. And so I think that in this day and age, it's probably even more important that these young people are able to find kindred spirits to support one another. As far as my message, I hope, as Peter said, be willing to share the hope that's in you, and I, of course, hope I can do that, but I also have to share the struggle that I've experienced over the years, and the Christian plight is one of struggle, fighting a good fight, and I think sometimes we paint such a rosy picture that people think, well, gosh, if I commit myself to our Lord, everything's going to fall in place, but rarely does it. So we have to talk about that.
Yeah, that is so true. You know, we all have closets, obviously, and there's a lot of clutter in those closets. And the further we step away from Christ, though, and you see it in society today, the further we get away from Christ, the more trouble we seem to have. But talk about your faith a little bit from the coaching standpoint, because when you're a high-level Division I college basketball coach, obviously, you're going to have some trials and tribulations, not only on the court, but just in your general daily life. But talk about how you've fallen back on your faith as a high-level Division I basketball coach.
Well, that's a good portion of what I want to talk about tonight. I always was challenged by programs that needed to be rebuilt, and so that calls for a little different approach. And the only approach that I found I believed in was the one that Christ used to build his kingdom, to rally his apostles. And so we followed that in so many ways in terms of building a program built on servanthood and humility and unity. And I tried to stay true to those, and I know that my son Tony has gone even beyond in that area. It didn't necessarily make it easier, but it made it more understandable. And the messages, I think, stayed with our young men a little bit longer because they were messages from the heart. The mind kind of belongs to the world, but the heart belongs to the Lord. And so we tried to deal in that particular kind of frame of reference. We've tried to deal with issues of the heart. And if I were to do it all over again, I would do it the same way.